We are the DFPN. Always question the answers.
No Gimmick podcast, and we bring it to you. Every time we turn live, man, you know it's the truth. Every after show, move it down. This the time to move around. No Gimmicks podcast is going down. Every night, every time in the ring. This is the time for the No Gimmicks. No, we doing our thing. What's your state of mind? State of mind. Moving down a statement when we take the line. This is exactly wrestling the state design. When you see Stone Cold like me, with the stunner in the world, exactly, man, what we bring. Every night we move like Brock Lesnar, the F5, no gimmicks. We take you to your limit, what's the feeling? When we live in the air, you know we on, it's the time. Guarantee we move, you know how we respond. The state is mine, the state design when we feel it. Moving down, what's the healing? No gimmicks is the feeling.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the No Gimmicks podcast here on the DFPN. And tonight we have a special guest coming from depopbreak.com, the head honcho himself, the dad bod demigod, first ballot BCP Plus Hall of Famer, Mr. Bill Bodkin. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, man. As always, I've been excited all day to be on the podcast, talk some wrestling. It's going to be a lot of fun. And thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. Thank you for your time. Thank you for coming on. We are already pre-gaming. I know this is going to be a good show because of the pre-game. My co-host is always the man with the 3D printer that prints all the hot shit, Mr. D. Vader. What is up, buddy?
Sir, it's been a wonderful day.
Nice.
Yes.
It's been a wonderful day in the neighborhood. I have been working my ass off, getting my wife's costume together correctly, the second sister of the Inquisitorius.
Nice.
So
Nice.
it's I'm gonna be posting pictures of that shortly on my social media. So it's dope as fuck. You know, it's only Frank D. Vader can do. So yeah, man. Yeah, the dark side flows through me.
Nice.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
AKA Monster Energy.
Yeah. Oh, is that what that is? Good luck and may the force be with you with that shit.
You know, I actually have a can of Coke, right? I got this every day. It's a can of Coke with Darth Vader on the can.
You finally found it?
I found one, and I'm not drinking it. It's in the fridge. I will never drink it. It would be blasphemy for me to drink that. It would go against the Sith lore for me to drink that Coke. And besides, the fucking Coke Zero, and you know, Coke is trash anyways. So, but here's the thing: I paid $2 for that can of soda.
For a can.
For a can.
Paying for the packaging on that one.
Like, I mean, I wish I could use some Imperial credits, but you know, motherfuckers didn't want to take it.
Oh, I feel you.
They're like, your currency is no good here. And you're like,
No, it's not. That's what Habib told me.
Yep. But yeah, like I said, man, we got a good show. Let's jump into it. We're going to start here. TV film, because this was a good show, good conversation piece pregame. We're going to start in the TV film realm, talk a little bit of Star Wars, and here we go.
really?
It's like I'm at some fucking jazz. You know, I'm just sitting back with a latte or something. Like, oh, listen to that music.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh,
Classy.
fire. Classy. Oh, very classy.
Like
You got my latte wrong. I want to speak to your manager.
I like it. But you had some Star Wars news on the way. Why don't you lead us off? Frank,
Who are you talking to?
You.
Oh, okay. Okay. Because there's two of us here, so I know you're talking to Bill or you're talking to me. Okay. So basically, Simon Kingsburg is writing the new trilogy for Lucasfilm. Okay.
Yep.
Which, that's fine. He can do whatever he wants. But he said something the other day that was kind of controversial to a lot of Star Wars fans like myself, and I kind of kind of get his reasoning behind it, but I don't like it. So he says that he's using Tony Gilroy and Andor as inspiration for the new trilogy that he's writing. But he didn't mention George Lucas at all in that vein. And I got a problem with that because had it not been for George Lucas and Marsha Lucas, his ex-wife, you would not have the opportunity to even write a trilogy. So while you're giving Tony Gilroy, the glaze and saying, okay, I'm taking inspiration, you're doing it because out of everything that Disney has done with Star Wars, this right here is the best shit they've ever done. Andor season 2, top notch.
Fact.
Is the best Disney Star Wars show on Disney Plus. I don't give a damn what anybody says. You can fucking fight me. I'll bring my lightsaber out. We can do it. Bottom line of it is that is the best show I've seen. From a writing standpoint, storytelling standpoint, seeing the struggle of the rebellion, seeing the side of the empire, that had and I watched Rogue One afterwards, right? And it just hits so much better because I know Cassian Andor. I know the struggle he went through. I know it all. And then you watch New Hope. Okay, and then everything goes from there. So I kind of understand why he would give Tony Gilroy, some praise. But bro, you cannot diss the man, the master of all of this. You know what I'm saying? You got to say, I'm taking inspiration from Tony Gilroy, but my main inspiration is George Lucas because Kinsberg said that this was the best sci-fi show he's ever seen was Andor. Okay. To that, I don't agree with that because although I liked the show, it didn't feel like Star Wars. It didn't feel like Star Wars because when you look at Star Wars in a whole, okay, and I'm talking about the original trilogy, the prequel trilogy, talking about Obi-Wan Kenobi, Rebels, Clone Wars, Acolyte, whatever, all had the Force. You didn't have any of that in Andor. Andor was a nice space drama, and it would have been a nice space drama and didn't have the Star Wars name, attached to it. That's what I'm getting at.
So did he?
To say it's good.
I was going to ask, did he say that it was the best Star Wars?
No, he says the best sci-fi show.
Because I would kind of agree with him on the sci-fi front. This show is really good as a sci-fi show. As a Star Wars show, I would lean your way.
I didn't see it as a sci-fi show though, bro. I didn't see that. I saw this kind of like it's like those old war movies you would watch back in the day. That's kind of what I saw. It's because it was so. I get
that too. I get
it's adult Star Wars is what it is. That's kind of what it is. So everything that I mentioned previously with the Force and all that, that's for 12-year-old boys. As George Lucas said, right? That's the fun shit. This is more gritty. This is more gruesome. So that's kind of where I'm kind of like, I kind of get what he's saying, but you got to throw some praise to George Lucas, man. And you got to throw a lot of praise. And she for some reason, she don't get enough praise. And that's Marsha Lucas. Because Marsha Lucas is the one who came up with the idea to kill Obi-Wan Kenobi. That was her idea. So she did a lot on the original trilogy, and she don't get a lot of praise for it. So that was my only issue with her. I want to see what he's going to do with this trilogy, if it ever happens. He's actively writing it, but you know how that works with Lucasfilm. Until they have a script, until you got a production going, nothing is for sure. So it could be years before we even see this come out. So
yeah,
Sean Levy movie is moving forward. Starfighter. So I'm kind of curious to see what that's going to be. I do know that. Don't be surprised if you see something with Vader.
I wouldn't be surprised, but I will follow you on that in the sense that if I'm hearing what he's saying, it kind of gives me hope for what he's working on. And that's because of the recency bias. And you and I talked about this beforehand. The recency bias of Andor and how good it was and how well it has been perceived by all Star Wars fans, right? And how people are very, very positive on that show. So if I'm hearing him say this and I know he's working on the Star Wars project, it does give me a little bit of hope that he's inspired by Andor and want to make something on that caliber. Now,
Well,
going
go
to the
ahead.
George Lucas comment, I'm agreeing with you that if he's getting inspiration from Andor, that if that's his purpose, I'm cool with him saying that. But if it's not, then I would agree that he needs to give George some props as well.
Well, here's the thing though. This is the part that people have to understand here when it comes to Tony Gilroy and why Andor was so good. Tony Gilroy did not have any handcuffs on him when he was
Right.
doing this show. He had no interference from Lucasfilm, no interference from Kathleen Kennedy, no interference from Dave Filoni, nothing. It was all him. He did his own thing. Simon Kinberg is going to be a yes man to whatever Kennedy wants him to do. So if you want to push Ray, he's going to push Ray. And that's the difference. And we're going to see that. I have no faith whatsoever in anything he's doing because the regime is the same regime over there. And that's the difference. Now, I will give Kathleen Kennedy credit, which is a shocker, but I'm going to give her credit for something.
I'm shocked you're even saying that.
I'm giving her credit because here's the thing. Without her saying yes to this, we never would have got an Andor season 2. Would not have happened. It's all her. Even Kenobi show, okay? Which, listen, for the most part, I like the Kenobi show. I just wish it would have been called Darth Vader and the Inquisitors and not been named Obi-Wan Kenobi. But I like the show for the most part. I thought the Reva character, I mean, outside of the stupid shit of her knowing who Anakin Skywalker, Anakin knowing that he was Vader, and knowing that he has kids, knowing he has Luke, you take that shit out of the equation. It's an okay character. It's an Order 66 survivor that went basically infiltrated the Empire to get to want to kill Vader. That's a good story. It should have ended with Vader fucking killing her.
Yeah.
That's what it should have done. Like Vader should like Obi-Wan should have like mind wiped her ass when they were on Tatooine, so she can't leave with that information. That's what should have happened. So they made a lot of mistakes there. But I give Kathleen Kennedy credit for greenlighting these projects. Because if she, I mean, Disney has basically, Disney outside of George, Disney, I think for the most part, they've done a great job with Vader. They've done a great job with Vader. I think I give Dave Filoni credit. He's done a good job with Anakin Skywalker and that story he's telling. And from what I heard, he's actually talking to George about that, about Skywalker, because that was George's creation. So he's actually taking points from George for Ahsoka season 2. Apparently, Anakin Skywalker is going to be a huge part of the Ahsoka season 2. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do.
Yeah,
I'm a mark for anything to do with the original trilogy, the prequels, whatever. I'm a mark for that shit. So, listen, I want Star Wars to get better. I want Star Wars to be universally loved and accepted like he once was, and not be divisive on every fucking damn thing. And I think one thing I can agree, if I am how I am and I loved Andor, that basically means it was a good fucking show, because I am a critic asshole of everything. I am a prick asshole. I am closed-minded. Okay, I got people telling me, "Oh, you got to watch The Lord of the Rings." I ain't watching that shit.
What, the Amazon show?
No, please don't watch that. Don't watch.
Oh no, I've heard that Rings of Power shit is a flop.
Oh no, I was like going to say, I believe in self-care. Don't watch that.
yeah.
Don't watch. I watched that and I was like, this is a no for me. But
my wife tells me, she's like, "Oh, you should watch Harry Potter." I'm not watching that. I barely got into fucking Star Wars back in 15. Like, why would I? Like, look how long it took me to get to that. No,
but I will say this though, Harry Potter, like off the movie shit, I fuck with it. I didn't think I would, but I do.
That's cool, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I think people should be able to watch whatever they want to watch and like whatever they want to like. And if people don't like it, they can eat a dick.
Bill, what you got?
Yeah, so two things. I'm worried because Simon Kinberg, I don't know if you guys know his filmography, it's bad.
Oh, I know. That's what I'm saying. I have no
yeah,
faith.
oh, yeah.
You know, he wrote X-Men 3, The Last Stand, which is an absolute piece of garbage. He wrote and had to ghost direct X-Men Apocalypse. He wrote and directed X-Men Dark Phoenix movie.
These are
I mean,
historically bad.
he did the 355, which no one watched. He wrote the Josh Trank Fantastic Four movie. Like, this guy doesn't write good stuff. So when I heard he got hired, I was like, Jesus Christ, why? Like, it's just BA bad. I mean, it's just that. And I also have no faith that he will be at the end of the project. You know, when it comes to the light of day, he will have a credit, but I don't think he'll be the guy.
Oh, they're gonna move on to another director. It's only a matter of time. Another writer. They're gonna. Because look how many writers they've gone through so far.
I mean, yeah, and just like that guy was the guy who ended at. The one thing I thought about the George Lucas stuff is like, I'm sure this will go over well. Isn't it almost implied at this point? Is it like a you understood statement that it was like everyone takes homage from George Lucas because he created the world? You know what I mean? Isn't it almost implied that like you take inspiration from George because without him you created it? Like it's almost like obviously we took it. Like if I hear it's like, well, I'm taking inspiration from George Lucas, I'd be like, well, no kidding, you're writing a Star Wars movie. Yeah, I mean, like obviously. But if he's saying like I'm looking at, you know, this director and the direction they went in. Oh, okay, I get, like, we're going to see this version of Star Wars. We're going to go in this lane of Star Wars. Where it's like, okay, well, I'm taking inspiration from the J.J. Abrams. Like, it's more like their take on Star Wars, so I like that vein. But I feel like it's almost, to me, it's implicit that everyone takes inspiration from George Lucas. That's how I agree.
I don't know about that one, bro. Leslie Hedman took no inspiration from George Lucas. As a matter of fact, she was anti-George Lucas when she was doing The Acolyte. So not everybody sees him in that light.
But aren't you? But isn't it because you're using that source material that he created, the Force and everything else within it? You're always, no matter if you're anti or for, you're always playing with George Lucas.
We know this because he created that universe. We know this. The company's called Lucasfilm. So we know this. You know what I'm saying? We know this, but some of these people don't get that. You know, that's what I'm saying. Some of these people don't get it. Like you just mentioned, some people are like, oh, you know what? I really like that Rian Johnson. I'm gonna make my damn movie off The Last Jedi.
I take it you didn't like The Last Jedi.
I thought it was trash.
Okay.
Yeah. First of all, it was trash. Why did Kylo Ren destroy his mask?
Who's angsty? I have no idea. Look at him. It's just like, he really needed the hair over,
bro.
He needed the hair over one eye. Yeah. He was in the Black Parade, guys. It's very popular these days, My Chemical Romance. So, I think that's why. I don't know.
Well, listen. It's just like The Force Awakens, right? Back when I saw that, which I thought The Force Awakens was excellent. Okay,
I liked it a lot.
But the moment you take the mask off, like Kylo Ren should have that damn mask on until at least The Last Jedi. You should have took the mask. You should have had the reveal in The Last Jedi. Darth Vader never took his mask off.
It was taken off of him.
Yeah, true.
That's true.
True.
He's up there with Rey, and then all of a sudden he takes the mask off, and then I'm like, bro, Vader never took that mask. Vader took the mask off when he said, "Luke, I want to look at you with my own eyes." That's the only time you see him take that mask off, and then when he's in the meditation, chamber, you see him from behind when he's putting it back on or whatever. But that's it. He never took that damn mask off. And I think Kylo Ren, and they knew that in the Return of Rise of Skywalker, they knew that. That's why J.J. Abrams brought the mask back, because he knew that. And J.J. Abrams did an interview, was like, dude, we went through so much shit trying to find the right mask and designing, and then they destroyed it in The Last Jedi. He said, I was so pissed by that. You just killed the mystique of the character.
Yep. Gotta keep it.
I agree.
So we'll see. We'll see if these movies get better. But
well, I mean, here I'm going to go on the limb here right quick. I don't want to dominate with Star Wars, but I'm going to go on a limb here and predict that the Mandalorian Grogu film is going to flop. I think that they have waited too long with these characters. I think a lot of people that grew up with these characters have grown up and grown out of Star Wars. Grogu is not as popular as people think he is. I can tell you for a fact, if you want Grogu merchandise, just go to Ollie's. It's all over the place. No one's buying it. All right. He just doesn't have that long-lasting appeal as Yoda. And it shows that it is what it is. Bro, I recently acquired and it's like it was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. It was Anakin Skywalker versus Obi-Wan Kenobi, Revenge of the Sith. It's 2 figures and they're on that lava thing, right? I got this set. And I have this set, right? Everybody's trying to find it. Disney knows, and this is the reason why they're pushing so much prequel and original trilogy merchandise right now. They know it makes them money. They are not pushing anything with Mandalorian and Grogu because it doesn't make them money. They just know, hey, listen, Bob Iger wants a Star Wars movie. We'll take season 4. You got season 4 written of the show, Jon Favreau. Cool. We'll make it into a movie. That's all it is. The movie I think that's gonna make them money is the Shawn Levy movie.
Oh yeah, that'll make money.
The Starfighter movie, that's gonna make them money.
Yeah.
Well,
that'll be the one. It's not gonna be.
You can't go wrong with it.
Yeah, we got Ryan Gosling, as lead, and you got. I think they're gonna do that. And then they're talking now the James Mangold movie might not be happening because he just got a show greenlit with Paramount. Now that Paramount, was taken over by Skydance. Paramount is making some major moves right now with trying to revive Star Trek, and they're going to revive the Transformers. They're bringing back Michael Bay for that shit. So they got a lot of stuff going on over at Paramount right now. Like they're going to be a top contender, and
including picking up UFC.
So exactly. We're picking up the UFC. WWE, went over to ESPN Disney, but we'll see what happens. And there's a speaking of that, there's a talk right now of what's going to happen with the video library.
We'll get to that
in a Peacock deal. Yeah, once Peacock deal expires. So but basically, at the end of the day, we'll see what happens with this Star Wars situation. I want Star Wars to get better. I think with Andor, it's proven that it can get better. And matter of fact, I'll say this. One of my biggest gripes at the time was Vader going to be in Andor? Was Vader going to be in season 2 of Andor? Were we going to see the Emperor? Okay, you know what? I'm kind of glad Vader wasn't in Andor because if he wasn't Andor, it would have took away seeing him in Rogue One.
Yep, absolutely would have.
But I wish they would have showed the Emperor in season 2 of Andor because you mentioned Palpatine, you mentioned him. I wish they would have at least shown a silhouette or something or a hologram or something of Palpatine because you didn't even see Palpatine in Rogue One. You have mentions of him, but you don't see him. And I think this is a guy that's pulling all the strings here. You should see him.
I think that goes closely with episode 1 though, because you don't really. Well, no,
Well, he's out now, but the Empire is a
right.
thing now, so he's out.
Yeah, you're right.
Mon Mothma is in the Senate, but the Senate it doesn't matter. The moment she's up there doing that speech, we got to shut this shit down. Oh no, this propaganda, no, they can't hear this. We got to shut this down.
Right.
So you should have had the Emperor. That scene when Des Romero is having that panic attack or whatever the fuck is going on with her. I swear to God, watching that dude, I thought she was getting force choked. I thought that's what it was in that trailer.
Okay. Yeah.
I thought it was was she in front of Palpatine? Was Palpatine choking her or was Vader choking her or something? That would have been cool though. If Vader would have been choking her off screen because of finding out about the Death Star, that would have been some dope shit, man.
Yep.
That would have been dope. But I will be seeing the Emperor though, because Ian McDermott is coming here to San Antonio for SpaceCon. So I'm going to see the Emperor.
Nice. I meant to ask you that earlier. You are going to SpaceCon. Nice.
I'm going to probably end up going. I'm going to go meet the Emperor, dress as Vader, and I'm going to talk just like this. I'm going to tell him, I, sir, challenge you to a duel.
Do it. All right, let's move on. We're actually before.
And he'll say, security, get this motherfucker away from me.
Peasant out of here. Yeah. Let's move on, man. Before we jump, we got a real quick AEW note, but that's going to lead us into the WWE. So let's jump there now. Mr. Bill Bodkin,
What's up, man?
you recently wrote an article, which is why I asked you to come on the show tonight.
Thank you.
And you really broke this down pretty nicely. We know that Chris Jericho kind of sparked interest in the wrestling community by liking something that was put out, but you actually wrote this article on why you think Chris Jericho may need to go to the WWE. I put this under the AEW category because it just benefits and we could be able to move to WWE. But
Absolutely.
I'm going to give you the floor.
Thanks.
Why do you think Chris Jericho going to WWE makes sense?
It makes sense for everyone involved, I think. I was actually writing this article a few months ago. I started it because there was an interview that circulated around when the video of Jericho saying, he's like, oh, yeah, I thought about it going back. Jericho's never talked about that. All of a sudden, that's out there. And I was like, gone. I was just like, I think he's done. I think he's out. And here's why I think, because Jericho is the king of reinvention. Whether it's his gear, whether it's his music, whether it's his hair, which someone tried saying that's not reinvention. I'm like, okay, I don't know what reinvention is, I guess. But he keeps changing things of what he does. AEW and Chris Jericho just don't need each other anymore. AEW, when they started out, they needed him. They needed that face. He gave them instant credibility.
Yeah.
And he was the guy they put on TV. He was the guy that drew people in. People were like, oh my God, Chris Jericho's in this new wrestling company. And he was a draw. He put people over. He carried people. And he carried a lot of that company up until CM Punk came in. And then post-Punk, after Brawl Out, who'd they lean on? Chris Jericho. Who'd they put their ROH title on? Chris Jericho. And he had some really good feuds, some really good matches. And then, over the past few years, it has been a struggle to watch Chris Jericho as a wrestling fan because his feuds have gone on for so long. The crowd has the interest has waned, but he always brought up that his ratings were good. And I think that's part of why AEW had him on every single week. It's like, okay, he gets some ratings. We need this for Collision this week. We want to put him on ROH so we can maybe get a TV deal. Dynamite needs something. And he always was pretty healthy. So when everyone else was hurt, you had Chris Jericho there. But over the past year or so, almost since the learning tree started, AEW has created this deep bench of talent in the men's and women's division that you could go to any single week and have them in the main event. You could put Brody King and Kyle Fletcher in the main event in Collision and people are going to watch it because those are two really good wrestlers. Yep. You could put Tony Storm versus Willow Nightingale as a main event, and people are going to watch it. They don't need to rely on Chris Jericho anymore. And so Jericho also doesn't need AEW right now because, the fans don't really like him. His profile has come down a bit. He's not the big star he once was. So why re-sign? What is there for him to do? Get his win back get the world title? They're not going to do that. The vibes are too pristine in AEW right now. I think the only thing and I think if he was ever to go out, I think he would, on this contract, if he was going to actually ride out on a Shield, I think doing a loser leaves town match against Hangman.
You read my mind.
They've never fought since he lost the title in a singles match. So since Jericho won the title, I should say. That's a great, that's a great closes the circle moment for Jericho. And you could have Jericho freaking out, screaming and kicking and blah, 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 classic heel type maneuver. AEW and Chris Jericho part ways. AEW, what they're doing now, they maximize TV time that Chris Jericho had, give it to younger talent. Take the money Chris Jericho is making and reinvest it into the company. Now, Jericho has the great opportunity, like he's a smart guy, January 2026, unless this yet to be named, maybe WrestlePalooza, maybe not, pay-per-view in September. PLE, sorry. In September happens on ESPN because that might be a thing.
It is a thing.
Oh, is it officially going to happen?
Yeah, it's going to happen.
Well, punch me in the wiener. But the official debut of them on ESPN should be the Royal Rumble. And what better way than 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Break the wall down! Place goes crazy. Chris Jericho's in WWE. Chris Jericho is the replacement for John Cena in terms of the nostalgia core legend that they need, that the fans are going to buy merch over. They haven't seen Chris Jericho. I was talking to you guys before that. It's been nearly a decade since Chris Jericho wrestled for WWE in Canada. It's been about 8 years since he wrestled, or 9 years since he wrestled in the States for WWE. So there's a lot of people who haven't seen Jericho in forever. They're going to want to come out and see him. He can work all these celebrities. He can be a fresh program for Cody or Seth. He could work babyface. He could work heel. He could do interview segments. Jericho makes towns. He will. You tell him where to go, he's going to show up. He could work in Mexico. He's got history there. You want to really, if you're going to go head to head with AEW, with TNA, put Chris Jericho on. Why not? And I think you have a guy who can do a little bit of everything for you. You can give him some time off. You can give him some breaks, but he's still going to be a draw. Chris Jericho also raises his profile, his podcast. I could see them bringing it into their podcast network.
Yep.
Cody doesn't want to ask, what do you want to talk about anymore? And drink, pretend to drink Wheatley vodka. You put Chris Jericho in there. You can have him be a guest on ESPN. He could be a public face on Netflix like they did with the football this year, with Liv Morgan being at the Lions game, Punk being at the Chiefs game. He could be a public face for you. And I think there's so much. And then Jericho Cruz. Put WWE talent on there now. You can raise more money.
Yes.
And then, WWE can get in the Cruz business more often. And then you could have, it raises his profile as an actor, raises Fozzie's profile. So I think it lifts them up, and WWE gets another guy that they can plug in while they, quote unquote, attempt to make another male star, which they really aren't doing right now. So I think he's ready-made. WWE Creative loves a ready-made guy. He's got that history with them, and I think it's the smartest move. Flip side of the coin, though, Tony Khan's a loyal guy. Jericho is one of his favorite wrestlers.
Yep.
There is a world where they re-sign him for a handsome penny, and this is Chris Jericho's retirement tour. But you have to leave him on the bench for a while, because I think he's so scorched earth right now that people need to kind of get distance from everything.
Cleanse the palate.
Yeah, I think that's what has to happen. But I think Jericho's best move is to go to WWE. WWE benefits, and AEW is already benefiting. And I'd hate knocking Jericho, because I think he meant so much to them in the beginning. He's vital to their history.
Oh, very much.
But like any team, if you want to play sports, the aging quarterback, you have to move on. The Saints moved on from Drew Brees. The Giants moved on from Eli Manning. Well, listen, we both wish they could have hung on and found the fountain of youth like Chris Jericho did. To be wrestling in his 50s, we're trying to have our quarterbacks just, God, what we had to suffer the past so many years.
It's been trash for a while now.
Listen, I was at the Giants game on Saturday. Jackson Dart looked all right. So I saw a quarterback throw the ball downfield. It was crazy times. But yeah, I think Jericho's best move is to go to WWE, and he's working the internet like only he can. He's been irrelevant for months, and I think this is the most relevant Jericho's been in over a year in terms of positivity. Instead of everyone be like, "Oh God, it's Jericho,"
Yeah. Frank D, you want to follow that?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with majority of what Bill said here, but my only issue I have with it is, the IWC fan base has been trashing Jericho for the last few years in AEW. So all of a sudden now, of course, our wrestling fans they're going to be hypocritical. He comes over here, oh yay! But at the same time, you just said something there. Jericho's working the internet as only Jericho can. And this could all be a leveraging game to Tony Khan.
Yeah.
To basically say, hey, Tony, they're trying to go head to head with you, bro. They're trying to kill you off. What is it that you're going to give me so that I don't leave and go over there? It's all politics, bro. It's all the leveraging game.
It's a business.
And I think at the end of the day, if Jericho goes over to WWE, cool. If he has one last run over there, cool. But somehow, I think he's going to resign with AEW. I think that Tony Khan is going to be the only person that can pay him what he's looking for. TKO is not going to do that. They won't do it.
No. The
And
only
they told Killer Cross, they said, "Hey, Killer Cross, we got an offer for you. You have 24 hours to sign that offer. We're going to rescind it." That's what he said. Okay, and he said, "Well, shit, how did you guys come to this valuation?" Basically, I think they lowballed him because he wants to know how did you come to this number. Same things like with Jericho. They're gonna look at the metrics. What have you been doing at AEW? What's the drawing power for you at AEW? Okay, you're not Brock Lesnar. You're not The Undertaker. What can you bring to the table for? Because Vince McMahon's not here anymore. This is TKO now. This is Endeavor. This is Silver Lake. We run this shit. So what do you have to offer us? I mean, yeah, we're making billions of dollars, but that don't mean we're paying billions of dollars. So what do you have to offer us, Mr. Jericho, Mr. 55-year-old Chris Jericho? What do you have to offer us?
I think Bill brought up a couple of good points that Jericho can bring to the table to WWE. One being the podcast, because Talk is Jericho is very, very popular. So much so.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Hold on 1 second. Because you're bringing this podcast up. Look at what they've done to the Undertaker's podcast. Look at that shit.
I get where you're going.
He got the podcast with his buddy, okay, with his buddy Matt. He said they're taking over the podcast. This podcast is shit now. It's sterile. It sucks. That's what they would do to Talk to Jericho. That's what happened.
Maybe they would get rid of the 5,000 conspiracy theorists that you would have on. But if you remember, like when he had, and I get what you're saying, like, and Jericho's not one to conform to rules.
Correct.
But he's also likes money. So
Correct.
I think what is TKO could say to him, hey, we're not going to pay you, throwing a number out, $5 million a year or whatever. But here's all these incentives that you can do. Here's all these partnerships they get. And this is how we grow your brand for Chris Jericho. So when you retire, the Chris Jericho brand keeps going. That's what they'll offer him. The Karrion Kross thing is a whole thing I could do an hour on. I don't think they lowballed him. I think they evaluated him probably correctly. It's because I don't know what is he brought. Because if you're evaluating, what have you brought to the table? Karrion Kross, it was like you sold a couple t-shirts within the last month. Cool. What about the 3 years we had you there where you were, like everyone else in the mid card, except you had some good like vignettes and promos, but
that's not his fault. That's creative, bro.
He also can't wrestle very well. He's not a good wrestler.
We know this. Neither was Hogan.
But you know what? If Karrion Kross was 7 feet tall, I bet you they would do a lot more with him, but he's not. And he suffers from that.
Omos, they're not doing shit with him either.
Well, yeah, but I mean, Omos can't cut a promo. So if he was 7 feet tall, could cut the promo,
MVP was talking for him.
Yeah, well, I don't listen.
Yeah, yes.
Well, Omos. Well, listen, him and Mike Roman are going to make $1 billion down in Mexico. I'm telling you this now. They're going to be. That is going to be the greatest tag team. I don't care if you are a pro wrestling fan and you do not like those two together. You don't like pro wrestling. You just like what you like. You have no heart. You kick puppies. You've never liked Christmas. Baked goods. You want to throw up. Those two together are gold. Protect them at all costs. I want to see just the run. Yeah, that's going to be great. But I can't go with Karrion Kross because I will blow a gasket. But Chris Jericho does offer a lot. But I know what you're saying too, because it's just like we don't have to pay for you because we'd rather spend this X amount of dollars you want to get a celebrity in here. But ultimately, I still think the allure of he was the AEW cornerstone. So let's take that to the heart. The IWC was mean to Chris Jericho. They were mean to CM Punk, and as soon as he came back to WWE, everyone was like, yay, except for me. Yep. I was like, you sellout piece of shit. But it's just like, that's a story for another day. But, ultimately, Jericho is going to move a lot of merch. Because
Yeah,
again, it's the like I said, the ESPN is Jericho, Talk is Jericho, Raw is Jericho, all this stuff. He always figures out a way to make money, and he will make money for them. And I'm sure there's ways they could work it out. But I do see what you're saying is if ultimately Chris Jericho's final thing is, I just want to secure that final bag, and then Tony, they do a handshake. He's like, I want what Sting got.
Oh, he'll give him that in a heartbeat.
Well, I think he would do that regardless.
Yeah.
But I think that's the deal. He's like, I want it in Winnipeg. I want Omega or Hangman or MJF. It won't be Sammy. It'll be those three. One of those three. I want Lance Storm and Don Callis in my corner, and this is how we go out. If he's like, this is my end game, I see him doing a short-term deal with AEW for a decent amount of coin. If he's looking long-term, I think he goes WWE.
But here's the thing, dude. This is the thing we're all missing here. Okay, we'll bring him back to WWE. This kind of shows we have nothing because we have to keep relying on the past because our guys
they've had nothing
working.
for a long time.
Yeah, our guys are not working. Saw a promo the other day. I sent it to you, Kaylee, the one with Vince Russo and Mike Tenay and TNA. What they were talking about. And he made the comment about I want the wrestling business won't be here in a year if Vince McMahon keeps whatever that is going on Monday nights, And I kind of look at this like, Russo was actually spitting a lot of truth in that promo because I don't know what this show is. It seems like they lost their identity and the touch of what made Raw great the moment they stopped competing with WCW. That was like they just now we're going through the motions. Even being the top top dog in the business, they're continuously going through the motions. Like there is nothing about these shows that are saying I got to sit here and watch this shit. I got to watch Raw. I got to watch SmackDown. I got to watch all this other crap. There's nothing there. I look at AEW, and they're telling stories. There's a story going on here, and I got something else to say right quick too. All right, I'm predicting something. I got two things on AEW real quick.
Go ahead.
Okay, so we got MJF and the Syndicate. We could be getting swerved here. All right,
I think of that too.
We could be getting played here, and this is all a big ruse, and they're gonna help. They're gonna help MJF become the world champion at Forbidden Door. I can see that happening, or we will see the return of the Pinnacle. MJF and the Pinnacle feuding with the Syndicate, but it makes more sense for this to be a ruse because this came out of nowhere with MJF, and it's like it makes perfect sense that if we really want the Syndicate to be heels, they gotta do something here to make this happen. And MJF and MVP are in cahoots. I think that's what's going on here.
I'm gonna add some fuel to your fire.
Go ahead, Bill.
Add some fuel to your fire.
Yeah.
Isn't it the timing of all the stories of what a jerk MVP was backstage just happened to pop up right around the time he stops with MJF? He hates people, Mike Bailey. Then we have that great video. It was like, fuck you,
that was cool.
MVP. But all of a sudden, he's a terrible guy. Nobody likes him. Man, could this be one just will work? We'll do a little bit of working with the media here. And we'll say how much of a bad guy he is. And then because we're playing on the old trope of disharmony in the locker room. Oh, it's an AEW thing. And then there you go. And man, Wardlow, Bobby Lashley, if that ever happened, reinforce the room.
That's what I'm saying that's what I'm thinking the Pinnacle would return because guess what? Stokely Hathaway, right? Used to manage MJF. Remember that?
Yep.
So there's a connection there, and then you have the FTR. They were part of the Pinnacle. You're just missing Wardlow and Tully Blanchard, and you have the whole crew.
Sean Spears.
John, but he ain't come. But he ain't
coming.
back.
Tully ain't. They ain't bring Tully back.
They ain't bring Tully back either. But you have the 3-on-3 here because MVP is so active wrestler. So you have the 3-on-3. But here's the thing. The Syndicate are not good guys. They're not. They are heels. And I think the plan is going to happen. But I think, here's the problem. They did that little funny segment with Hangman and MJF where he says, I'm going to, I'm going to cash in at Forbidden Door. That's why I'm breaking it up. If that happens, do you think it's too soon to take the belt off Hangman Page?
Nope.
No.
Because
Really?
he's firmly the guy. So the one thing that was important for AEW to do was to get Hangman and MJF right. You had to position them right because they were completely dislodged from where they needed to be. MJF needed to wrestle, and MJF needed to have a good balance between wrestling and promo, and remind people why they should hate him. And Hangman needed to wrestle more and remind people why we all fucking love this guy. Why we all cried when he was like, maybe me and Kelvin just did, when he won the title back, and Hangman's always great in the chase. Dusty was not a 2-year long running champion, and he's very much their Dusty Rhodes. He's like their emotional touchstone. He cuts these promos that people relate to on an emotional level, like Dusty Rhodes did. And so, if he's their Ric Flair, that's cool. And I think a new MJF, again, I go back to that bench of just like the guys he could fight now. MJF, when he was champion a few years ago, he was trying to make so much happen there. But now you're gonna have a Swerve, you got Ospreay, a rematch with Hangman. There's so many guys that we could see him wrestle now. They're like, that gets me excited that I want to see this happen. And I think you could get some really good mileage out of this, because originally the plan apparently was, when it was not supposed to be Punk, it was MJF who was supposed to beat Hangman. And then I believe Punk was supposed to beat MJF down the line. But Punk allegedly politicked his way into it, and he took the belt. And I think that really disrupted the sacred timeline of AEW. I think it's now been reset. And I think Tony Khan is like, I want to have an overarching plan. And I think it's MJF. Then he has other people, I think Ospreay, to be the next champions. I think he's probably planned this out.
I think he has too. And I agree with you. I think everything that led up to All In was a reset.
For sure.
It was a course correction. I didn't realize that until I was in the building, though. Once that match with Moxley and Hangman ended, it instantly made sense. I was like, oh, this was a reset. Yeah. It was like, that's what this was. And you finally, once he got the AEW title out of the briefcase, everything just it made sense. I was like, oh, okay, that's what this was. They just didn't call it that. And they didn't.
Finally, they kept talking about restoring the feeling.
Correct.
And then they just did it.
Right. Correct. And at that moment, everything made sense. And it was like, that's what this was. But I agree that we may be on course for MJF taking the reins again.
Well, and the thing too is what I thought was kind of funny is when MVP says that Bobby Lashley will be coming after you for that championship, but I'm thinking, but him and Benjamin are still the tag team champions, so why would he be coming after MJF? I'm telling you, I think we're getting played here with this situation, and if that's the case, that's going to be dope when the reveal happens that they've all been in this together, because MJF and the Syndicate, it just worked so well. It's just that right there. Just I love that combination. It worked for me.
I'm thinking of Blood and Guts now too. You could literally have think of the combination of guys. You're going to have the Hurt Syndicate. You have those four. They can always hire somebody for a fifth guy, right? Because that's what it seems every year. Someone brings in a mercenary. But think about the combination of guys you could bring in to fight. You could have Hangman. You could have Brody King. You could have Bandito. You could have Ospreay. You could have Swerve. You can have Kenny. You could have all these people hate MJF. You could have Mystico. It all makes sense because everyone fucking hates MJF. Mm-hmm. And now people are going to hate the Hurt Syndicate. And like you said, maybe FTR is heels right now, so maybe they don't get involved right away. Who knows? But there's a lot of moving parts in here where people can get involved, and I think that's the excitement of AEW right now. It's just we're gonna paint our picture with blood and violence and in compelling storylines, and this is also going back to my Jericho thing. Is Jericho was about the entertainment. It was about the gaga. It was about the sizzle. It was about all that. And he subverted that in the beginning to play off as that's why he's the heel. But I think extracting him out of there and just focusing on what they're doing now, that's the right thing. That's this ethos they're going to keep going with. And I think it's the best thing they could do.
So I think too, when you go back to, okay, if Jericho resigns a short-term deal and Jericho does that, Sting run and gets retired, I think that there's only one person that could retire him. And this is basically we got the Jericho redemption story. Okay. And I think that person would be MJF. That would be the one to end him.
Yeah.
So
that would be the ultimate heel move. Yeah. I would say MJF. I think Jericho should come back as a babyface and go after, because there's no more, the learning tree. No one cares about that. That was like the low point. You come back, refresh, recharge. You're coming back as a babyface. This is your last run in AEW. Loser leaves town, you lose. You go out and you get your accolades or whatever, and then you can go back to WWE if you want to go back to WWE. You can go back to WWE in time for WrestleMania. You can do that, and they can like write you out of AEW. You go, you get the same thing. You get the Hall of Fame or whatever. You get all that stuff, and if you want to do that, but somehow I don't know. I just think that. I don't see Tony letting him go. I think Tony's gonna fight.
I can see that too.
Yeah,
he already made because listen, he did not want to get rid of CM Punk. So if it was up to Tony Khan, CM Punk would still be in AEW. That's
you know what. At this,
it was a committee that said get rid of Punk. I think if he and Punk would have talked themselves on their own, it would have got back together.
And if they had just talked in the beginning, that would have worked.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a whole podcast for
that is an entire podcast.
That is what you call it. That is the what if episode of No Gimmicks podcast. I'll be the watcher. So.
Awesome. All right, so let's move over to the WWE side now because I think
you got a comment there.
Oh,
YouTube comment.
Oh, what's up? CJ says Tony doesn't need Jericho anymore. The Punk situation taught him that, I think.
Jericho's still their biggest. Jericho's still, even though he kind of found it off a little bit, I think Jericho found it off because they had Jericho doing a lot of stupid shit with, the Ring of Honor stuff and the learning tree and all that stuff. I think that hurt a lot of his momentum. It really did. That's when Jericho had X-Pac heat pretty much. Like, get this guy off the TV.
Dude, at Hammerstein, there was no heat. It was quiet. And it was that's how bad it was. It was like people were like, yeah, I'm going to sit on my hands for this. And that was coming off the heels of the Cardona match, which tanked in a Ring of Honor. Like that was a bad weekend for him. That was like, oof. And because especially like as Hammerstein, which an amazing venue for their show, like deafening reactions for everyone else, like Ospreay, all these dudes. Shelton Benjamin got a monster pop. Jericho got a polite response in the beginning, and then that match was you could.
But if you've been giving them, but gotta remember here something. If you've been giving the fans crap and just bad storyline after bad storyline after bad storyline, you're not going to get that reaction. I take it back to Hulk Hogan in WCW. Hogan came to WCW, did the Hulkamania shtick, and he would get that polite cheer, but you got a lot more boos, and people were sick and tired of him. It wasn't until the NWO happened, oh shit, I want to watch Hogan again. Jericho needs that story in AEW that's going to revitalize him. Yeah. And I think if he goes back to the Chris Jericho that was when they started, go back to what was it?
La Champion.
The gimmick he was doing in New Japan.
The Painmaker?
The Painmaker
shit. You're like, go back to how you were when you first got into AEW. You don't need a learning tree. You don't need any kind of faction. Just be Chris Jericho on your own. And you can tell that story.
Hey. Don't be so
Jericho can go.
Don't be so factual.
Do more horrible wrestling, horror movies. Yeah, listen. I'm just saying that. I'm just saying.
I will watch it. I refuse.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying, Jericho going to WWE would be the same old stick, and it's just like we don't have anything else. We have built no stars other than Roman Reigns. Cody was a transplant star from AEW, like it or not. That's just it is what it is. Cody Rhodes is doing the exact same shit he was on the AEW and WWE, and it's boring.
Wait, there's
Said
no
Ross.
adrenaline in your soul when you see Cody Rhodes?
I turn the TV.
No, I think you did. Okay, can I throw? I'm curious. What would you think if a couple years down the line Cody Rhodes goes back to AEW? How would you react to that? Either way, just for both of you.
Go ahead, D. I got
that's been floated out there as well. That maybe one day he goes back.
I don't know, bro. Like,
are you taking a pass? Would you hard pass on that? And that's like obviously no wrong answer, but it's just like, would you be like, no thanks?
It's a hard pass for me because you broke the mantle at Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
And now you're back kissing the ring. So that I got a problem with.
And he was kissing the ring while still there.
Yeah. I got an issue. I have an issue with that. So, and then all this shit that's going on with the counter programming and all that. And Cody, you got some influence over there to tell them that's, we shouldn't be doing that and you're letting it happen. You got some influence, bro. You can come in and tell them, I don't think this is a good idea. We should just let them. They're not a threat to us. We should just let them alone. You know what I'm saying? You're letting this stuff happen. So I just, when I look at Cody, honestly, I look at like a hypocrite, man. Like with a lot of shit. But wrestling fans are hypocrites too. So,
I would want to see him for one reason and one reason only. That is Dustin's last match. That's it. Whether he was his tag partner or his opponent, that's it. Because I'm a big Dustin Rhodes fan. I think that's the match he would want to have. And if that's the match Dustin Rhodes wants to have, then I'm fine with it. Other than that, I don't think he fits.
I would agree with that. Because I would be hard pass too. And this strictly because of what's going on right now. And I'm on D with this one. I'm with D on this one. It's like you see all the counter programming. You see that WWE obviously is looking at AEW, a company that you helped start. They're looking at them as competition. They're throwing a lot of stuff their way. And you're okay with this. To the point that you're now starting to go out on podcasts and you're starting to reveal certain things, right?
Yeah.
And that's a bad look, man. So if there is a situation where he comes in to AEW and there could be a situation that allows that to happen, a lot of things need to be talked about. Because I'm pretty sure he still has a lot to get off his chest. And the fact that he's not really vocal about what's going on with the counter programming right now leads me to believe there's more to be hashed out. Because you don't just leave and then you look at what's going on and you're okay with that.
I think, listen, that's the same thing can be said when the NWO was damn near killing the WWF. Hogan made that place. Hogan could have said, hey, maybe we should lay off of them. Maybe we should lay off. No, it was called cutthroat. Like, kill them off.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of Cody's thing. Like, Cody was like, listen, I asked Tony Khan for something. I didn't get it. So the hell with him. That's what I get from it. Like, he's not looking back. Cody Rhodes is like one of the top guys in WWE right now. He's a world champion. Why do I care about what's going on in AEW?
And maybe that's the win.
I don't care. Yeah, maybe I don't care because if he had listened to me and gave me what I wanted, we could be working together. This wouldn't be happening. I think it would be I think it's a sweet revenge, honestly.
Yeah, that's what I said. He's up right now.
I some of that, yeah, but man, even when they started, I was like, he's got one foot out the door. This is to show Daddy. He was like, listen, Daddy, I was wrong, and that Daddy was Vince McMahon. I'm going to go out. Everything he did very explicitly was, I'm going to prove WWE wrong so they can sign me back and pay me a lot of money. Like, I felt like even he was cutting interviews like when his daughter was born, he's like, Triple H texted me, and Triple H is my favorite wrestler. Triple H is no one's favorite wrestler. Triple H is a bad wrestler. You know who says Triple H is their favorite wrestlers? People who want a job, people who want to kiss ass. Like, no, find me a best of Triple H DVD that does not involve Mick Foley, Shawn Michaels, or a very good wrestler opposed to him, even at that point, or a street fight. You know what I mean? If he's not in a street fight, his matches sucked. He wasn't good. He's doing a Harley Race cosplay, and it was bad because he did have a tattoo right here, and he didn't drink driving down the streets of Missouri. That's what I'm saying. But ultimately, it's just like, I think Cody was always leaving, and I think it was like Punk coming in was like Punk became the guy. Cody was not the guy, and he was like, well, I can work Tony for more money on a short-term deal. He maybe didn't get that, and maybe he said, you're not the guy. CM Punk is the guy here. And also, I think Brandy had something to do with it. I think Tony was not a big fan of Brandy's ideas, and I think Cody was looking for a reason to leave, and then that became a whole thing. I think he was looking for it.
So, Cody, what you're saying is Cody wanted to be. Okay, you could be correct in saying that Cody always wanted to leave, but you know what I think? I think Cody always wanted to be Dusty. And Cody thought that he could do with AEW
what Dusty was doing. Yeah,
what Dusty
that's
was
very
doing
plausible.
with Jim Crockett and with WCW. I think that's what it is. Cody will never get that opportunity in WWE. Not now. Shit. They can get rid of Triple H tomorrow.
Not now. Not forever.
Not ever. Yeah.
Together.
But
we can all agree on that.
But he could get that at AEW if he went back. He could get that.
He could.
But there has to be some kind of conversation here between
or not. Yeah.
That's why I was just about to say that. Maybe not, because if you look at the direction that they're going in right now, a lot of this stuff is making sense for them. And I think Tony's learned his lesson a few times over to not let that happen again.
Yeah. So here's a question real quick too. Yeah. So if Jericho, let's just say Jericho ends up leaving AEW, where does this go? What's to say that the Young Bucks won't leave and head over to WWE as well?
I think they're signed for longer and for a lot more money. And I think their runway of how much longer they're going to do it, I think they're ready to ride off into the sunset. I think they're like, we've got paid. They said they want to buy PWG and start running it again. Like, I think the Bucks are in, I think they're closer to the end than the middle of their careers.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Because there's only so long I think they can do what they do, like at a high level. And I think if they start getting, I don't think they want to be the Hardys. I don't think they want to be wrestling that old. And if they do, it's like once or twice. I think they're on the back end.
Yeah, I
would agree with that.
I think they're loyal. Honestly, I think they're loyal to Tony.
Same thing with Kenny. I don't see Kenny leaving.
Yeah,
and I don't see MJF maybe one day, but I don't like Hangman. I don't see. There's certain dudes like I just can't see it. You never say never, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
I don't see Moxley going anywhere either.
Oh, see, I think the only reason he would go back was to be a part of Roman's final run.
Yeah.
Because I think his deal ends soon too.
But if you look at some of those, like Moxley's one of those too. If you look at some of those guys, I think they're content building on what they have.
Yeah.
Especially if you look at Moxley and what he did with Hangman. Like, I think they're content on staying in AEW and making AEW the best it can be.
Because listen, dude, like, okay, you go over to WWE, but listen, the grass is not green on the other side. You got people like the New Day that they're not doing shit with. They have completely flopped and wasted Ron Killings. So,
oh yeah.
You got these guys, they don't do anything with anyone over there.
Yep.
No,
like I said, Moxley, if there was any reason to go back, he would be because he was asked by Roman Reigns to be a part of his final run. And then I could see him taking a 6-month to a year deal, then wandering Japan for 30 years. You know what I mean? Like, just like, he's like, hey, I'm just going to show up at this independent in Texas and just like stab a guy, go home to Renee. She's making money working for the Bengals. You
go back, but you go back to being Dean Ambrose and not doing shit and wearing a gas mask.
I think that would be foolish to bring him back as Dean Ambrose, because he has been, I think, as long as Jon Moxley, if not longer, on national television than he was as Dean Ambrose.
Yeah.
So I think the money, also Jon Moxley's a cooler fucking name. It's just like,
Yeah,
hi, what's your name? Oh, it's Dean Ambrose. Hi, I'm a biology major with a minor in IT. Huh? And you're just like, I haven't felt the touch of a woman, and I'm 47. And you're like, stuff like that. But where I think Moxley's just cooler, but
I don't think Moxley's going. I don't think he's going anywhere.
I
I
don't
don't think he would have the creative freedom he has right now in AEW over at WWE. That just won't happen.
No,
they will not. It's such just, dude. They are just. I don't understand what they're doing here. It's like you push the same people. There's no. And then you can. I got to go back to the New Day. You completely squandered what you have with the New Day. New Day had the biggest turn in WWE. What they did to Big E. You could have played on that. Now there's nothing there now. Ron Killings, I'm driving. You're driving where? Nowhere. Now you cool with Johnson again. You back, I'm back. What the? Like,
yeah.
Yep.
Like I told you, Triple H, last time I was on here, Triple H is the Alex Smith of bookers. You give him a game plan, he knows how to run that playbook. But if you ask him to improvise, the shits.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Good
Why
luck.
do we only see video of him tweaking people's entrances? Because that's the only thing he ever did good, was at his entrance. It was just like, hey, I can spit water, and he's just like, every time, even from NXT, it's like, oh, do this. Cool, you could tell people how to enter the ring, but what happens when they hit the ring of the bell? You don't have anything anymore. You got to get, just ask Freebird to do it, I guess. So, do.
right.
But we're in the WWE realm. Let's stay here. So
Microman and Omos.
Hey,
2 million views.
Yeah, people actually like
counting.
Microman and Omos.
Dude, I am dead serious when I say I fucking love this. Is my favorite thing in WWE. If you told me they're on Raw right now, even though it's Tuesday when we're recording this, I would leave this podcast to go watch it, because it's just like the funniest shit ever.
It is. When he showed up, I was like, this is gold. It's gold. So
Omos
much
is
gold.
gonna get so over.
Yeah, he is.
AAA.
And this is what I don't understand about the WWE as a whole, right? Because you have a great formula in AAA, but you're not showcasing it. Like AAA needs a show. And the guys that you don't normally like the LWO, and all those guys, like they're over in AAA.
Yeah,
like
crazy
over.
AAA. Yeah.
They're crazy over. It's wild. When I watched it, I was like, it's crazy, because I've seen some of these guys on Raw and SmackDown, and they don't get half the reaction that they're getting. Why are we not putting a television show together for these people?
Well,
we're too worried about putting AEW out of business.
Yeah, they really are.
Yeah, true.
The rumor and innuendo is they're trying to work this deal where they can get AAA.
Just do a Conrad Thompson.
It is not a rib, D. It's not a rib.
Yeah.
My goodness. Roll Tide. Roll Tide. Did I tell you I was married to Ric Flair's daughter? I don't know if you know that. But
every fucking show.
Is that I'm glad someone, after all these years I do that. It's a joke between my buddy Kenny and I. And like, I've done this on other shows and no one gets it. So I'm glad you guys got it. That they're trying to get, which makes the most sense. They're trying to get AAA onto Univision, which is owned by NBC Universal.
Okay.
And then they're trying to get, because they're leaving Peacock, they're like, okay, we'll give you TNA and AAA. You can take those. So they're trying to stay in it. And it makes, I don't know where TNA is going to go, and that's fine. But I think AAA going to Univision makes the most sense. As soon as they bought it, I'm like, oh, they're definitely going to Univision. That's like a layup for that. But you know what should have been a layup at Triple Mania? Putting the belt on Dominic Mysterio.
You would think.
Resetting the AAA universe. I have actually watched AAA for over a decade. I've covered it for PW Insider. Like, Triple Mania is supposed to be their WrestleMania. I'm going to have a hat tip to Lucha Blog, which is a great Lucha Libre follow on Twitter. He was talking to people, and they're like, this felt like a WWE Super Show, not Triple Mania. Triple Mania always blows off big angles. And the reason people are pissed about Vikingo, if you guys don't know, is they were building this whole Alberto El Patron feud that was going to blow off at Triple Mania, and they instead put the belt on Vikingo, who had just lost to Patron about a month or two before.
Yeah.
And so they're like, no,
they revolted immediately.
Yeah, and making Alberto a huge babyface in kind. And then Triple A was like, well, let's just build the whole promotion around Alberto, who's not going to come back. So, well, that might change. But putting the belt on Dom, who was cheered in Mexico City, but was reviled everywhere else. Dominic Mysterio, as much as I was allergic to appreciating him, is a wonderful heel. He can make everyone hate him. Is he a great wrestler? No. Is he a great entertainer? Yes. And that's what you needed. You needed to do what AAA always does. You have him, you have the Judgment Day. AAA's bread and butter, heel faction that's aligned with Conan and aligned with Dorian Roldan. That's what they had with Del Rio. Do it here. And then you eventually reset the universe, give it like 6 months. Vikingo will be over again. You put the belt on him. But they're making him Roman Reigns. They're making him Roman Reigns circa. When The Rock came out in Philly, it was like, hey, my cousin won. And everyone's like, fuck you, Rock. And that's what they
exactly what they're doing.
They told Rey Mysterio, they're like, fuck you, dude. And Rey's like, oh, hey, I'm Rey Mysterio, ultimate babyface. Never been a heel in my life. Well, except the filthy enemies. And that's, I think, the big mistake. Dom was the guy, and they are hell-bent on keeping Vikingo to be the top baby, and it just didn't work. It didn't work. Good match. Just didn't work, man.
Yep. But yeah, I agree. That revolt was crazy and loud.
Oh, yeah. It was real bad, dude. It was really bad. And there was also no blood matches on here. There were no, and that's always a big thing in the main event of Triple Mania. There was no high flyers. Not a lot of legends either, although I was stunned to see Pimpinella Escarlata come out, who's an Exotico, which, if you don't know what Exotico is a male wrestler dressed as a woman. And I was like, holy shit, given the political proclivities of TKO, I was
they
I love alliteration.
Con were in attendance for that, by the way.
Yeah, I saw the video. Their reaction spoke volumes. And that's why I loved it.
What was their reaction?
Not good.
They were not good.
They were rather like, let's just clap for this shit.
Well, and you know what? So that's gonna right there is you're gonna start seeing the sanitization of AAA. Watch. It's gonna slowly morph. It's gonna slowly morph into WWE Mexico is what it's gonna be. Just give it some time. Everybody's hyped right now. Remember how hyped we were when they brought ECW back? What they did to it after?
The first
just
moment.
Watch.
So this is the British independent scene all over again.
It is.
I was a massive mark for the British independent. I remember when Progress toured America. I saw them at the 2300. It's great. I interviewed Jim Smallman. I was one of the owners of Progress, and I was like, hey, everyone's worried that WWE is just going to do what they always do. And he's like, pshaw, never going to happen. 6 months later, happened. AAA has always been wanted to be WWE. They're the more sports entertainment-y version of it. But D, you're right. The Exoticos, I don't see lasting. There's not going to be those blood matches.
Oh no, they died. They died at Triple Mania. That the look on Nick Khan and Triple H's face is like, get this.
Well, they're gonna be like this. We're down here to watch this, but at the end of the day, guess what? We are WWE. We have sponsors. We cannot have this type of programming down here. It doesn't matter. We're trying to sell this to NBC. We're trying to put this on Peacock, possibly. We cannot have this. So you're going to see them start phasing a bunch of people out. I guarantee you, it's gonna look like WWE just in Mexico. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the ring ropes, for God's sakes. Didn't they used to have cable?
I think so.
I think so. Yeah, look at the ring ropes.
And a six-sided ring.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now look at it.
And Jeremy Borash is running it. He should appreciate a six-sided ring. But and not a lot of those AAA guys in that. I don't know if you guys watched the Copa the beginning of it, the gauntlet match. Man,
Yes. Yeah.
They there's a bunch of AAA guys who did not acquit themselves very well. Like to me, watching it, I'm like, this is a classic AAA, just completely messy. Nothing makes sense. Why is this guy taking a pin, but he's still in the match? That's classic AAA, right? It's just none of it makes sense. But like, Cibernetico comes out. Cibernetico is a massive star for them at one point, and he just looks shot. You know what I mean? So it's just like I don't see him. Pimpanella's almost 60. They look shot. Some of the younger guys were missing spots left and right. I'm like, oh man, they're gonna just throw a
This
whole
ain't the
bunch.
night you want to.
Well, if they came in,
off.
if you're saying that they had, what was it, a 6-sided ring in AAA?
They did, yeah.
Okay,
Not
so
anymore.
yeah, but that's the thing. Hogan and Bischoff took away the 6-sided ring in TNA when they came down there trying to change things, and it didn't work because the 6-sided ring was the identity of TNA.
Yeah.
So this is you're stripping away, and you know they were taking notes. Nick Khan, Triple H down there taking notes on this. What we're gonna have to change this and you have to change that. We've already changed the ring. It's a WWE style ring now. It's WWE ring cables on ring ropes on the damn ring. Okay, because I simply remember them having the cable like WCW, like majority of those rings. They're gonna start just sterilizing this product. It's not gonna look the same. They got you hyped for nothing at this point because it's gonna fall the way of ECW. I guarantee it because we were all hyped when we saw ECW, and it went away as soon as I saw the damn zombie.
Yep.
I got to tell you, there's 2 times they killed ECW for me. So I watched it with my dad, and actually this month, in a week, when AEW is at the arena, will be the 25th anniversary of when me and my dad went to the original ECW, one of the final 2 shows. It was incredible. When they did the alliance thing, and then Stephanie McMahon walks out with the backwards motorcycle cap with ECW, my dad just went fuck loudly, and my mom's like, Bill, don't you swear like that. And he's like, he's 18 and he goes to high school. He knows what that word is. And then we watched when it came back on site because One Night Stand was terrific. Didn't watch the second one, but when we heard it was coming back, we were like, okay, we're gonna watch it. We'll see what happens. And it was the zombie, and both he and I looked at each other and we're like, turn off the lights. The party's over. It's dead. Thank God we have all the tapes from MSG Network, which and my dad and I had a nice tradition. We would go to church, we have breakfast, we watch ECW, and then the Giants. So, we got our prayers in, and then we'd watch Francine and New Jack,
Hold on. I got a comment on something. I'll look at this comment right here. It says, you need to give D a Snickers, Black. He gets grumpy about WWE when he's hungry.
Well, first
no,
off,
it's
have
not.
You ever watched WWE? You should be fucking grumpy all the time.
Listen, but you know what? But you know what? It's not that though. It's not that with me. What it comes down to is that I remember March of 2001 when WWF bought WCW. And I was sad about it, but I was hyped about what the possibility of them of the relaunch of WCW, and it was going to be a Saturday Nitro show. I was hyped for that, and then to see what we got, to see they weren't using the WCW rings anymore. They got rid of all of those. Yep. They gave one to Les Thatcher, and I think Taker had one, and whatever. We didn't get WCW, so it's a letdown. And then the invasion thing happened, and Stone Cold Steve Austin turned, and then the WCW guys couldn't survive on their own, so then they brought ECW in and made it the Alliance, which those 2 companies never fucking got along during the original run. It made no sense. Why is Paul Heyman the general manager of ECW when he should have been the owner of ECW? Why is the McMahons involved in this? Why is Stephanie out there? Why? I mean, Shane can be WCW. Vince is the WWF. Paul Heyman is ECW. Stephanie had nowhere near this. So that's my whole thing. It's not so much being grumpy, bro. It's just like I've been watching this shit since 1989. All right. I've seen it all.
Me too. Same here.
I've seen all this. I watched the WWF. I watched WCW. I watched ECW. I watched NWA, TNA, all this shit. So, I'm like, when WWE gets their fucking hands on something, It is what it is, but I'm gonna have that Snickers later.
Well, make sure it's the peanut butter one. Those are excellent. That's just me. I love peanut butter. I'm marked for it. But yeah, and same as D. 1989. I think we're the team 1989 here. So
Yeah,
great.
same.
Yeah.
So but I was we're watching WCW. I was watching World Class and USWA on ESPN, Global, AWA. We're old enough to remember and watch all WWE kill our favorite promotions. The generation before us watched all the territories die before that.
Correct.
And
Mhm.
the dominance, and people don't get it, man. The dominance they had has like, gelatinized some brains when it comes to this. When it's just like competition and different promotions and alternatives are good for business. Like, it's just not.
It really is.
It's like boring as balls, and that's why when NXT was around, and it was basically PWG and Ring of Honor on a WWE budget. That's why we all loved it, because it wasn't Fandango.
It was different.
No offense to
Yes.
it wasn't all this crap that we were watching. And then it just, that's why I love AEW, because it gives me an alternative to watch. It's something different from WWE.
Well, and also it gives people, and the most important thing is it gives people jobs, because remember, when WCW went out of business, Tony Schiavone told this story. They said they went to a meeting. The WWF had a meeting. Schiavone said he showed up there in a suit because he had a job interview to go somewhere else, but he wanted to go listen to this bullshit. They had a WWF lawyer there that told them this is what it was. I think it was Human Resources too was there. You will get an opportunity, but we can't bring on everybody. All these people, production people, lost their jobs. The crew, they all lost their jobs. So when you have AEW, it gives people a source of income. You can make, feed your families. You can stay in the business. That's what it is. And WWE doesn't understand that. It's cutthroat. It's like, damn, Vince McMahon never fucking left. It's the same mentality.
Yeah,
Kill your competition, dude. Like
Triple H did that.
Vince McMahon, Dusty Rhodes said McMahon regretted taking out WCW because he missed the fight. He looked forward to Monday nights. Even when they were beating their ass, he still looked forward to Monday. He hoped the WCW would pull through and hit back at him so he can hit him back some more. That's what he wanted. And it didn't happen. And then, McMahon was like, we destroyed the territories. And basically why McMahon was so mad about WCW going out, because he can no longer pick talent from them. He had to then pick the talent himself.
To make
like
them.
that, like exactly how they took all the talent from ECW. Same thing.
And how
that was a downfall of ECW. It was financial, but it was a downfall when you took Taz, when you took the W Boys, and then, my God, you finally bring in fucking Raven and you don't do shit with him over there. Who the hell hired back Johnny Polo? Shit like that.
Yeah,
very much a fact.
Vince McMahon also had a guy on the inside who hoped to get a good deal in WCW, but he foisted on his own petard on that one. And Triple H, man, he was the same way. People don't get it. Like, he is Vince McMahon again. He just is more muscles than he's bald. It's just like he poached every indie talent he could find in NXT. That's what he did. Outside of the Four Horsewomen and a few select other people, who the fuck did he make? Who? Johnny Gargano? He was a guy.
Johnny Gargano was an indie guy.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He was a guy already. Adam Cole was a friggin' superstar when he walks in and the Barclays Center sold out. Scream does his taunt. What did Triple H add to this guy? You know what I mean? It's a lot. And even Stephanie Vicaire, like, you want to go modern. What did they do?
You can name a bunch of people now.
I can name half the roster.
He didn't really do. He didn't really do anything. I can. Okay, that's a good question. Who did he make with the original Black and Gold run NXT? Well, you bring a bunch of people in. Let's see. You brought in Finn Balor, and all Finn Balor did was just he's still doing Prince Devitt. He's just calling him Finn Balor. He's doing the exact same shit he was doing in New Japan. I don't see anybody that Hunter made personally, because when they all went to the main roster, these are all. I'm sorry, Roman Reigns is a Vince McMahon creation. The Bloodline Roman Reigns is a Vince McMahon creation. That happened when McMahon was still there.
Yep.
This is Triple H has Vince's leftovers.
It's probably more Paul Heyman than even Vince McMahon.
Even still, it's not Triple H.
Yeah, it's definitely
not Triple H.
I mean, come on again, Alex Smith, guys, come on. Joe Flacco. He's Joe Flacco.
No, that's
But
very
less
true.
charismatic than Joe Flacco, I have to say.
It's very true. And if you look at the AEW transplants, how different are they from what they were in AEW?
Oh my God! Why are Penta? why are Penta and Ray Phoenix on two different damn shows instead of them dominating the tag division?
Because they didn't want to bring Ray Phoenix in. That's why. That's my thing. I think they just wanted Pentagon. I didn't think they were a package deal. I mean, Miro, Rusev, same guy. Alistair Malachi Black, same guy.
Terrible fucking music.
Ricky Saints. He's this. Remember, everyone's like, "Oh, he's guaranteed main roster." What's he doing? What's Ethan Page still doing in NXT 3 years later?
Hey, where is Brian Pillman Jr.?
Exactly where he needs to be. As Lexus King, he now has a thing that he's doing with the Rock's daughter, I think. He's like has an angle, but I mean, he's so solidly entrenched in the mid card, just like. Sean Spears was always going to be a player coach, but like Pillman's he's stuck in the mid card of NXT. I mean, they've done nothing with them, and it's sad.
How about Jay Cargill?
It shows you that a good booker would have figured out how to hide her weaknesses and exploit her strengths.
This guy says right here, I love Brian Pillman, but his son is hard. It's horrible to watch.
Yeah, I mean, and
that's saying everything, man.
Yeah,
saying everything.
If he would be more like his father, he might have something.
Well, Brian would. I mean, just listen. Sometimes it skips generations, man. And there, at one point in AEW, I thought, I'm like, all right, he's putting it together, and then
nothing.
He had that match with Malachi Black, and I was there live, and that tanked. It was bad, and it was not because of Malachi Black, and I think that really killed it for him. But yeah, I think WWE is always going to make money, man. But it's just, I think you're going to see a lot more cuts coming soon too.
I think so too.
Another thing is too, why isn't Malachi, or I'm sorry, Alistair? Why is Alistair Black not in the Judgment Day? I think that would be a perfect fit.
Very good question.
He's too edgy for them, I guess. I don't know. It's just like that, and that's the storyline. How many times you're going to recycle the same stuff with that? I mean, they're blessed that they have good wrestlers in that group.
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
So everyone's excited for a Clash in Paris, I guess.
I'm not.
I mean, if you're just going to pay me to go to Paris, that's fine. But I think Forbidden Door, I mean, that's going to blow the doors off. I guess I got to ask you, sorry, so my hosting reflex is kicking in. Do you think with the counter programming, it's hurting WWE more than helping? Because I think it does, because I think they're taxing their audience to be like, hey, we got a PLE coming up. Can you sell your kidney and get over here real quick? Okay, thanks.
Yeah, it's actually hurting them, because here's why it's hurting them. Because when you look at AEW, they're going to put on the better quality matches. WWE are not. You're going to see a bunch of fucking ads the entire show, and you're not going to see any wrestling. And all the entries are going to take up a majority of it. So I would say that the difference is the most important thing. AEW, they're actually making money on pay-per-view. WWE are not. They're just making money because you're overcharging, people at the gate. But AEW is making money on pay-per-view. That's the thing WWE is not doing. So I think that, eventually, how much longer are you going to want to counter program this thing? How much longer do you want to keep, stretching yourselves out there, trying to be petty?
At least to the end of the year, because apparently Cena's last match is going to go against World's End.
Yep. And they already, and this is what kills me is they pop stuff up, right? So like this WrestlePalooza stuff, they're just popping up with this. This wasn't in the plans.
No.
They just see an AEW pay-per-view and be like, we're going to go up against it. Here's something we could pull out of our ass, put a name on it, and put it on that's the same night. Now, they've been getting really lucky with shows like Evolution, because Evolution was a very good show. They've been getting lucky on some of these shows, but eventually that luck's gonna run out.
But even Evolution was such like, I felt like they did them
They
dirty
just threw it together.
and there wasn't even good attendance. It was
That
solid.
too,
It was solid,
that-
but it could have been
It
better.
was a solid show, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. The logistics of it, they just threw that show together. They didn't
But
plan this out.
WrestlePalooza, it's been in the works for a little while, and how I know this is because there was a story that came out about I think like 2 months ago or something like that, where they filed the trademark for WrestlePalooza to bring it back, and they said they were going to be bringing back an ECW name pay-per-view, possibly from main roster. We all thought it was going to be on NXT, and there's also another one they did recently, and be on the lookout for it, Super Brawl.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. So look at AEW's schedule. AEW's schedule has been filled out quite nicely for a while. WWE's isn't. So we know at least until the end of the year what AEW's schedule look like. We can't say that about WWE.
Which is
Because they're-
insane given this economy. And I hate to be
Correct.
like real world into stuff, but it's like, fuck, man. You're not cheap. So you're like, oh, hey, by
Right.
the way, we're just doing this shit. And they're lucky they have like, I mean, I honestly don't give a shit about Brock Lesnar versus John Cena.
I
really
don't either.
And I know how that match is going to go. They're going to redo the Suplex City thing where Brock won, and they'll subvert it by having Cena kick out or something like that.
They've been pushing Brock Lesnar content hard on their YouTube channels, and all the people out there that had a problem with Lesnar coming back, you sure are watching.
Yep. I
The
said that
views
last,
are up
last
there.
show.
You sure are
For
fucking watching.
people that got a problem with it, the views is high.
Yeah. Yep.
So, but that's what I'm saying. Like the counter programming, I do think is hurting them, and it's because they're not planning a lot of this stuff out, and it's showing that they aren't planning a lot of this stuff out.
Yeah.
It feels very WCW.
It does feel very WCW.
To the point of like, who's going to be their David Arquette? Who's going to be the celebrity they're going to put the championship on?
The Jelly
Logan Paul.
Roll.
Fuck, it might be. It might be the Jada they are.
It'll be Jelly Roll.
Jelly Roll beats Seth Rollins.
Yep.
And the
Shit.
people will chant, "This is awesome."
Oh my
and
god!
And the people will chant, "This is awesome." They'll
Yep,
go. They'll
at
chant,
WrestleMania. It's going to happen at
this-
WrestleMania.
They'll chant, "This is awesome," if Jey Uso just says "yeet" before the match even starts.
Well, that's the only time they're chanting him. But because I mean, that talk about another thing that flopped, man. Yeah, title run. I thought it was a good idea to put the title on him, and then it was just like, well, I was wrong. What a shock! But
Yep.
oh man, someone compared Jelly Roll to Lana Del Rey for guys who like wearing trucker hats, and I was like, holy shit, that is deadly accurate.
But I give Jelly Roll credit.
Oh,
that
for
he at
sure.
least-
Yes.
I'll give him credit
Yeah.
that he actually took it seriously. He learned the craft. He ain't like fucking what's that other dude, Travis Scott, who wasn't about it and ruined WrestleMania.
Yep.
You know,
No, one of the many things that ruined
some
it.
of the celebrities actually come in there. They actually give a damn about the craft. They can go with it. Joey Roll actually cares about it, so it's all good.
He's the Whitney Houston for blue collar white men. Who is this guy? He's brilliant. That was great. I don't know who you are, but you're awesome. Thank you.
That's CJ from Nightmares and Nerdscapes, one of our shows on DFPN.
We'll bring on We'll bring on the Pop Ray for some Halloween stuff, man, because that was great. But yeah, I do agree. I respect the shit out of Jelly Roll. I couldn't name a song he's ever done, but
Me neither.
I respect the fact
Me
that
neither.
he lost weight. He took it seriously. He worked with true professionals. And he told a story where he showed up like I'm going to show up when the wrestlers show up, and I'm like, that's a guy who, and he's not even a legacy fan. He's a newer fan. So for someone to take it that seriously, I have a huge amount of respect for him.
Well, it's just like, I hate to admit it, but just like Logan Paul.
Yeah. Oh
Takes
yeah,
it
for sure.
takes it very seriously.
I mean,
I think it's just me. With me, it's just that whole thing. Like this dude here. And the thing about Logan Paul, I will respect is that he don't have to be doing this shit. He don't have to be putting his life on the line doing any of this shit. The dude got back. He got money. He don't have to do this.
no, he doesn't.
So I respect that.
Nah, I do too. That's why I said shit human. This motherfucker can wrestle though. Like,
I know.
Well, I mean, okay, I'm not gonna say shit human because I think people can change their ways. I will give.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't
Fair point.
I haven't heard anything else about him since that bullshit in the forest. I haven't heard anything else about him. So, I don't hear anything about Logan Paul, to be honest.
It's because his PR is really good.
Or maybe he's just not doing shit.
That's ultimately what you hope for.
Yeah.
That's ultimately what you got to hope for.
Because you hear no stories about the guy. Like nothing. The only thing you hear about Logan Paul is when he's on his social media talking shit, but putting over. But he's always making an angle on his social media.
Yeah.
That's the only thing you hear about with Logan Paul.
So
I'll give him his credit.
That's a fair point.
I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard nothing about the guy.
I will.
That's a fair point.
I'm waiting for his brother to show up. That's what I'm waiting for.
Well, that'll happen.
It's coming.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, and people will go crazy for it because, like I said,
He's a star.
Yeah. They'll go crazy for him.
Mr. Beast versus Logan Paul for the Universal title. Kenny Omega predicted it, and I think it'll happen.
Yeah. I can see it.
Absolutely. All right, guys. I think we got enough. Let's get into some final shots and thoughts.
Oh, fuck you. You're pulling my bullshit now? You're pulling my bullshit now?
Yes. I told you. Like when I did it, I was like, oh, I got time. Because he just chills on the couch. Good stuff. All right, Mr. Bodkin, you're the first.
Are you ever gonna talk?
No, he's not. What are your final shots, thoughts, parting shots? Thank you for coming on the show. It's always fun to have
appreciate it. I had a Tuesday night off, man, so I'm glad I was able to come on. Final thoughts, man. Just go to thepopbreak.com. Check out my article about Chris Jericho. It'd be nice. But overall, if I'm giving my final wrestling thoughts here, go watch all forms of wrestling. Go if you're just a fan of one company. If you're just a WWE fan, there's so much out there, and that was my favorite part of wrestling, was discovering wrestling from all over. Go on YouTube, all over the place. You'd be some wild stuff. I remember I caught something from Vietnam one time. It was some like 70-year-old French guy against like Ho Ho Lun, who was like the dude in a cruiserweight tournament. Like there's all sorts of great stuff out there. There's great independents probably in your town that you could watch, like Kelvin with Metroplex Wrestling. I am a company man adjacent. There's plenty of awesome wrestling out there, and go check it out. You'll be a better person for it. And that is my final shot on wrestling. Can I plug some stuff? If that's
plug
okay?
away, man.
All
Let people know.
I am Bill Bodkin, editor-in-chief of thepopbreak.com. We are coming up on year 16 at the end of September.
Let's go.
Yeah, man. It's my third favorite child after my daughter and my dog. So follow us on social media. We're at the Pop Break on everything except for YouTube. We're at popbreak.com, all spelled out. Plenty of wrestling videos over there. We're a lot of AEW scrums. We have an interview with Kurt Angle up there. I'm the co-host of the Socially Distanced Podcast, which is our weekly flagship podcast. This coming week, the reason I'm off is our podcast editor, Alex, hosted an interview with a whole bunch of writers about a Taylor Swift book, because there's that new, all the stuff with her album coming out. So we're like, hey, Alex, go for it, have fun with it. We're going to be talking about Peacemaker coming up. We're going to talk about Wednesday, and we're going to have our annual football episode coming up, which I'll be requesting Kelvin and D, if you have a favorite football team, let me know. So we can have people come on, do a little bit of predicting. It'll be a lot of fun. Check that out. Go check out. I'm also the Bill and Bill versus the MCU podcast, co-host the TV Break, and I have a Disney content creator podcast called It's a Pod World. Go check that out over on the Pop Break feed. And if I have tons of interviews over on Pop Break, click on the interview tab of thepopbreak.com. All summer I've been interviewing bands, so go check that out. And Kelvin, dude, thank you so much. It's going to be fun. Can I announce that like the thing I was telling you about that podcast for next year?
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, so Kelvin, Amanda Rivas, and I, with a host of special guests, will be throughout the year be doing a podcast over on Pop Break called Elder Millennials Watch Old Wrestling. That's right. We're going to be talking about stuff from the first AAA. You like that? We're going to talk about the first Worlds Collide pay-per-view. We're going to be talking like Survivor Series, but I'm talking Jumping Bomb Angels era of Survivor Series, that first one. You wanted me here wax poetic about the young stars? I'm going to fucking do it. We're going to talk about some of the best from Royal Rumble. We're going to talk about a lot of ECW, Anarchy Rules, Heat Wave, Barely Legal. All that's coming over on Pop Break next year. Me, Amanda, Kelvin, and a special guest every single month. So you will be hearing people from the DFPN, from the BCP, from Pop Break, and throughout the world. We're going to be talking about it. And again, D and Kelvin, thank you for indulging me by having me come on and talk my bullshit here. It's always fun talking wrestling and Star Wars with you guys.
Anytime, buddy. Anytime. Thanks for your time. D Vader, take us home. What you got?
Nothing much, man. Just continuing to do my shit, bro. Just working on my costumes. I'm about to. Matter of fact, when we get off here, I'm gonna put the finishing touches on the Rogue One Darth Vader helmet. Got done with it. Yeah, I got done with it earlier. Got the dome all done and got the mask. So just got to put the lenses on and shit. So getting that finished. Got an event coming up this weekend, as a matter of fact. So I'm just, I'm trying to decide if I'm going to go as the New Hope Vader or I'm going to go as Rogue One Vader. Might go as Rogue One. Haven't done it yet. I'm still working on the Kenobi thing. So that's what I do on my time is I just make these props. I got this big ass 3D printer in here, so I have to do things.
Man. I saw you put up the pics already of your wife's cosplay, dope stuff already. So yeah, man. Always watching you put that together. It's awesome.
Yeah, no, I need to do more content like that. I just, listen. Here's the thing that people don't get: when you're constantly, majority of this thing is sanding shit. So it's like a lot of sanding. You got to get rid of all those layer lines. So it's a lot of sanding, and then you sand, and then you sand some more. I understood now why Anakin hated sand. I was
like, oh shit, you better make it. If he's not, I'm going to do it.
Yeah. So it's just so much sanding. But I don't know. I'm gonna start doing some different stuff on social media, whatever, like showing the process of all this stuff and putting it together. But in the meantime, I'm just doing my thing and helping control the pet population. Happy Pets Vader muted. And it's hot as hell out there. So if you don't want to be walking on concrete, don't have your damn dogs walking on concrete. You fucktards.
I agree.
Yeah, awesome. So before we get out of here, please go subscribe. Go check out the Pop Break. They have a lot of good stuff. Thepopbreak.com. Go check them out. It's well worth your time. All amazing people, all amazing editorials, videos, podcasts, whatever you want, go to the Pop Break. They're always kind and they're always kind to DFPN. They always show us some love. So please go show them some love.
We love working with you guys. We're glad we're building a nice community. And Kelvin, look a little slim and trim over there. So congrats on a little bit of a fitness journey over there, my friend.
I've been in the gym, man. I've been in the gym.
I can tell.
Man. Keep the hustle going, bro. I see you're doing your thing over there. So keep it up.
Get on that grind. Get on that Randy Orton chicken and rice.
Oh, is that what it is?
It's only the best chicken and rice. That's another thing.
I think it's something else, but
yeah, I can't wait and right around Christmas time when we're podcasting again, and Kelvin's gonna come back just like shredded as hell. He's gonna be like his wife's doing laundry on his abs while we're doing the podcast. Just let me get this towel dry. It's gonna be great.
My God, I hope that'd be luck.
You'll get there.
Get there.
But yeah, that's all we got, man. Thank you guys for tuning in to the No Gimmicks podcast here on the DFPN. Until next time, you guys take care of each other. Enjoy what you want to enjoy. Peace.
And I know it's all business. We give them no gimmick. Yeah. And I know it's all business. We give them no gimmick. Yeah. And I know it's all business. We give them no gimmicks. gimmicks.